Hey y'all. Hey y'all, what's going on? What's going on, guinea hens? Patrolling the zone, babies. Hey y'all. Welcome back. We are tripping at Habitable Spaces today. Today we're going to check in with TJ Lemanski, who's the artist in residence, and he is designing some of the coolest sculptures with brass and acid. Trippy. Basically what he does is I think he sprinkles acid of different strengths onto the brass, and it makes it all these beautiful colors, blues and pinks. It's really fantastic. So I'm going to show you 3 of the pieces that he's already done. I think we covered them a little bit. And then check in with progress on one of the pieces that he's working on. All right, as you can tell, the campus, well, it looks a little junky right now, but the campus is getting a little landscaping makeover. So they've gone in and cleared all the brush. So I'll show you progress on that as well. All right, so we're entering the shop being built. This is TJ's studio, and we're gonna see what he's up to. Right. Hey TJ, how's it going?
Good.
Great. I've been checking in on these pieces here.
Yeah.
And they look so cool. Especially at nighttime in these overhead lights. Have you seen them in the overhead lights?
With the lights are strung up?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
It kind of changes personalities a little bit at night.
Yeah.
And colors. It's
Yeah.
very cool. All right, so let me flip the phone. All right, so what's going on? Maybe we should review some of the pieces before we talk about this. What do you think? I'm loving.
That's fine.
Do you mind?
Yeah. No.
Okay, great. I just kind of want to give people who haven't seen any of the stuff that we've already broadcast a little review of what you've done.
Yeah.
And also, I don't think I've talked to you about some of them, so that could be a good opportunity.
Yeah, it's possible.
Great.
Yeah, so,
All right, so let me show some close-ups. So here we've got, this piece has a lot going on that I didn't know about at first. So we've got brass underneath, and then we've got, this looks like a clock hand, but it's more of a cosmic reference, right?
yeah, it
Astrological?
kind of has like a little bit of a clock business going on.
Uh-huh. And then we've got, this is caught my eye last time, which I didn't even notice the first time, but this is all magnetic. This is, if you touch it, it moves.
Yeah, there's like a woolly willy or whatever. So it's like iron, like fine iron filings.
Yeah.
And then there's embedded magnets.
Magnets.
Right. And
How do those work? I'm only kidding.
Ask ICP. I don't know.
That's classic.
But yeah, and what's been actually very interesting, because like the colors kind of change, like the patinaing sort of, like, it's, as you can see, the piece that I just started putting stuff on is the colors are way more vibrant, and then they sort of dull out.
Uh-huh. Ooh, right.
Maybe a way to arrest it if I try to seal it, but I haven't really been doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But something about not sealing it, letting it just continue to react and expose, like all the iron filings have started to rust, which has been really cool.
Okay.
Because I made 2 of these just before coming down to the residency, and I've just installed them in my house, and I saw them recently, and they haven't rusted at all, and they're months older than these.
They haven't.
No.
Do they change colors as they age, or do they once they're kind of stayed? Do they stay the same color?
That remains to be seen. I mean, these are only, well, this one is the first one that I made, and that was only like a week into the residency, so middle of September.
Yeah.
So I don't know. how much it'll change over time, and that's
Looks
kind of
fresh.
what's interesting to me.
Yeah.
Seeing what it continues to do, just kind of
Yeah.
setting up stuff to then kind of live on its own and do its own thing.
What so you've got warmer colors going on in these areas, and then you've got cooler, like a more turquoise flavor,
Yeah.
and then the dark part here. So it starts out like this, is that right? And then
Yeah, well, like the metal itself looks like that, sort of
Yeah.
untreated, like what brass, and then these are slotted brass screws, excuse me, wood screws that are used to hold the metal facing on.
Right. And are they arranged in any particular design?
Not in this piece. This piece it was more functional, and it kind of oscillates between being functional and then being integrated into like the piece. Like in this piece and in this piece, they're less about rivets
Yeah.
as these kind of function, and
Right.
these are more based on like celestial arrangements, star arrangements.
Love it. And these are is there a clock reference on this at all, or was that just
It's kind of, yeah, no, there's
Time.
definitely that there. I was thinking more kind of like sort of like the Oculus, or like like in a Rococo like painting on a ceiling, in like and there's always like a sort of like a central Oculus, like a false skylight sort of thing, and that's kind of what I was thinking about, but it's all kind of an experiment. But I was consciously putting the solutions on the metal, trying to kind of preserve that shape.
great?
But yeah, then incidentally, there are 12, there's 6 on each side, so it does end up having a bit of a clock illusion to it.
Yeah, a little bit of time. And then I forgot, I don't think I told people on this one, these holes are at varying depths. So depending on the angle that you see it,
Yeah.
you see almost like a moon reference, I guess you could say.
Yeah, there's that. And that's something I'm kind of exploring in a different way with the piece I'm working on now that I just started a couple days ago.
Yeah, it's amazing and beautiful, and I really like how this acid is it's almost like a solar explosion or
Yeah.
solar flares or something.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, and then and then I was getting down to the end of the brass that I brought down to the residency, and so that was also informing the shapes I was making, because I was having smaller and smaller blank canvas, as it were, to work with,
Materials.
So it sort of it dictated.
Hello, Lola.
Hi, Lola.
Hello, Lola. Sorry.
Yeah.
The joys of a live
You
shoot.
hear us talking?
What's your opinion, Lola? No comment?
Yeah,
She's staying quiet.
her opinion is attention is all I need.
Right. Okay, cool. And so you've got, so this one is this one has the rivets, but no magnets.
I know it does. It
Oh, it
does.
does. Oh, right.
And they're here and they're rusting. I use smaller ones because it's an overall smaller piece. But I'm really interested in what the rust is just doing to the piece, adding to it and changing over time.
Absolutely. Great.
And then so then this one is one that I just
So this
started
is a
working
new
on.
one.
Yeah, so this
Excellent.
is essentially what they all look like underneath before they're fully assembled, without the trim and the kind of metal face.
Uh-huh.
The business side of the art.
And this is where, this is the business.
Yeah.
And that's the party.
Yeah.
So you embed the magnets into the wood before
Yeah.
you put
Yeah.
Okay, and it
Kinda
still
keep-
works through
Yeah.
the material.
Yeah, the brass doesn't do anything with the magnetism, doesn't really interrupt it or anything. And that stuff's very small granules that are really light.
Great.
But yeah, so kind of continuing on, exploring the series, letting the shapes change and kind of maybe build up like an internal logic amongst them all.
Yeah.
I mean, because it is very limited in what I'm introducing. There's a lot of repeated materials, obviously. Like all the materials are repeated, and a lot of the shapes. There's a lot of circles or semicircles or orifices or oculuses, whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, they work really well together. We were noticing in the light that that they really complement each other when they're standing together as opposed to individually. They look
Ye-
cool individually, but together they're really
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, and that's the hope that they could be cohesive in some way, and some pieces are inevitably going to be more successful than others. But I'm just going to not try to think about that and just make my decisions as I go and not provide too much of a value judgment on them. I just want to, maximize how much I can make.
Right.
And this last month, or October, I wasn't here very much for a variety of reasons. I had to go to another part of the country to officiate my sister's wedding, which went
So
well.
we heard, yeah.
And that was the first time I'd ever officiated it, and that went well.
Excellent.
And then I've had to work and do some jobs to make money to survive. So this last month, October, felt like it kind of disappeared from me. I thought I was getting off to a good clip in September, and then just life happened,
Yeah. Well, you look very well prepared here. Does this
Hopefully.
did you say you were, is this going to be another two-piece or?
Yeah, that's what I've been thinking, because I kind of changed. This is not a perfect circle. It was actually cut again. I did multiple, and we can bring it over to what it potentially will be. And again, this is like making decisions before they're finished, or I'm just showing possibility. So then this is the metal that I'm currently treating, and again, like what I put on it is pretty simple and.
Beautiful. Oh,
I haven't really,
man, I love these turquoise
But yeah, you can
colors
see
in
how
there.
that's gonna dull out. As you can see in the other pieces, it will eventually do that. But yeah, so there's the essential shape that will go on here, and then here's the part that I cut off because I was trying to imperfect the circle by adding like another, sort of radius to it,
Right.
which changed it. And I think I'm gonna try and integrate this. I haven't cut the wood for this yet.
So if you decide to integrate, you have to build another base for that one.
Yeah, that's how I've been operating. I've considered having some where they're all a solid piece, or like there could be different planes on a singular piece. But
Love it.
we'll see how it goes. But yeah, this one is kind of like it references a specific constellation, and again, like I was saying, I don't really have I have no training or background or besides having functioning eyes and being able to see the night sky here.
Right. Did you say it's a specific constellation in mind, or?
Yeah, with this one actually, and it was great because last night we had a fire because we started burning out a second piece for the cast concrete stuff that I'm working on.
Oh, good.
But yeah, it's Cassiopeia, which is sort of like an M or a W depending on kind of the way you rotate or see it, but it's like sort of like a
right.
reclining female figure.
Okay. So from here, it looks like a W.
Yeah.
Very cool.
But yeah, that's obviously leading how I'm making the forms, but
Yeah. It feels lunar to me.
yeah, that and I was thinking of that similarly with the other pieces where you get sort of like eclipses or like disruptions in a circle.
Great.
I don't know.
And so what
hopefully
is your next step in the process? So you've already applied the acid, right?
Yeah, the different.
And then you put this,
I'm going to assemble it.
Okay.
And I have to attach. I'm going to attach it with some of the brass screws. I have to cut the trim and attach all that, which is again rubber pulled from a conveyor belt.
Right.
And then, I got to kind of wait for this to settle down a little bit. But then once it's all assembled, then I start adding the iron shavings on top of it.
Excellent. And where would you ideally like to see these pieces hanging? Do you think about them after they're gone? Or do you think about, wow, wouldn't this be great hanging up in a home here, or an office there, or an airport, or any ideas for where you would like to see the final result being displayed?
I think we're gonna do. I know, like, COVID's crazy, and obviously it's whatever day it is. I forget.
Yeah,
But there's
it's-
something else going on today, and I forget.
It's election day, everybody.
Yeah. But yeah, beyond that, assuming that everyone can find out a way to be friends and society doesn't collapse.
Yes.
Hopefully this could maybe
Fingers
culminate-
crossed.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully it can maybe culminate in a show.
Yeah.
Maybe not. We're talking about having just like a small kind of reception here. Maybe like I think it's like sometime early December. Just where people like I know a lot of people in Austin. Some have been down here, some haven't. Just people in the community too, to maybe could put all these up. Maybe we'll get more drywall up if there ends up being more and needing more wall space. Some of the concrete stuff I'm working on will hopefully be permanently installed.
Nice.
But
Maybe
then
we
beyond
could
that,
have
I'm not sure.
All right. Maybe we could have a proper gallery opening to open the gallery and show your pieces.
Yeah,
Very
I know it's
cool.
gonna be I mean, as soon as we're done here, I'm gonna start drinking. So I imagine everyone else has probably got a head start. But
Thanks for holding off for the shoot. I appreciate it.
yeah,
I think everyone's kind of on their way out.
yeah,
That's hilarious. All right. Well, this is beautiful work, and I'm going to show a few more close-ups. But
Sure.
I'm most excited about these colors, and I really hope that they stay over time, at least close
Yeah.
to what they are now, because being a New Mexico boy, I'm in love with turquoise.
Oh yeah, you
But
got the turquoise is
yeah, I have an eye for turquoise and a love for it. But the way that these cooler colors interact over here on these
Yeah.
pieces, you get you get the warmer colors here with the almost oranges, but kind of like pinks and stuff. And then, did you plan for this area, but under the circular magnetic shavings? Did you plan for it to be darker by not putting more acid on it?
Yeah. I was trying to because I was operating and doing all that stuff before I actually added the shavings on, but I was trying loosely to retain that shape
Yeah.
as something different.
So you kept it dark in the middle, and
Yeah.
then we've got the pinks and the oranges and turquoises working with each other there.
Yeah.
And then you've got the very new feeling of the brass.
Yeah, just in a couple spots, and that's something I think I'm going to try to preserve in some other ones because I didn't really do that in these.
I like that a lot.
No, like seeing how much they kind of dull a little bit, like they become less vibrant, and I don't think that's bad. Because when I first did this one, I was like, oh my god, I made it. This is tie dyed, and it still is a little bit, but it's like we just like
It's a cosmic explosion, is how I see it. You know, like a star or something.
yeah. It kind of got toned down a little bit, which I'm fine
It
with.
did get toned down. Okay.
But
so
yeah,
these
they kind of
including
just
the
keep
screws.
Yeah, they just keep kind of
Okay.
evolving, which is fun.
Yeah. So we'll see how it evolves over time.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, TJ. And I'm going to show just a few more close-ups here. We've got this one. Haven't named him yet, right, TJ?
No, not
Okay.
really. I've got.
It's got this.
Kind of a working title for that one with the 3 circles.
Yes, I love.
But the other ones, it's not really kind of come. It hasn't made sense yet.
I really like the varying depths on the circles here from
Yeah,
the
I
side. It just makes it so much fun to experience from straight ahead, and then from the side it almost becomes a different piece.
Yeah, that one in particular, I really enjoy what it's doing.
Yeah, me too. That's my
Which is
favorite.
why I have run away from it and not tried to do it again.
Yes.
It
It,
just keep.
it must be hard to let go of your babies, huh?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
Time definitely helps. I mean, sometimes you kind of like fall in love, but then it's good to fall out of love and just keep going otherwise.
Right. Move on to the next one.
It's maybe not important to repeat, but if something works, it's okay to echo it maybe.
Absolutely.
Not
Yeah.
repeat it
Maybe in a different
Yeah.
manifestation.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us. And we will be back Thursday when Allison teaches us how to make ravioli. I think it's pumpkin ravioli. So we will see you Thursday. Thanks for joining us, trippingwithtrip.com. The podcast has music now, and we are in the process of editing it. Hopefully, we'll get it out in a couple of weeks. And then we will be off and running. Bye, y'all.